got so many questions and emails from the video I did that was what therapists think and feel when you are suicidal, and also some from the what if suicidal thoughts are normal video. And it's got me thinking even more about all of this, and I want to continue having these conversations because it's so complicated and difficult and really mixed, right? So even for me, who I talk about this all the time, right? And I work with this all the time. Even for me, it's so complicated and mixed. And I think that's why it's so hard. And I've been thinking about that lately because I believe that you shouldn't have to suffer endlessly. And if you choose to do something about it, even as drastic as take your own life, I believe that's your choice. And I don't want that to happen or condone that, or like, obviously that's not what I want to have happen. And at the same time, I'm very aware that that's not my choice, it's your choice. So I don't think you can tell anyone you have to stay here because whatever, right? We want you to stay here. I want you to stay here. And also at the same time, I believe in choice and agency, and I believe that no one knows your pain and your suffering as well as you do. So I think everyone has the right to do that. And I don't want that to happen. So it's like, it's so conflicting, right? Even for me. And I want to help bring, it's hard to even like voice, right? Because it is so conflicting. I want to help bring more peace to you and bring more control and some happiness if that's possible at some point. And I want to help you be able to work through that and work through those urges and understand that a lot of that is outside stuff, or other stuff is going on, or like biological stuff, right? That brings on a lot of these thoughts and this pain, or sometimes it's situational and life is really sucky, right? So I want to help bring some light and some peace to you. And sometimes I can't, or sometimes whoever you're working with can't. So it's really tough. And I think the other really hard thing about it is I work with so many people right now, especially who have lost people to suicide. They've lost someone they love to suicide, and it's destroying them, and it's so awful, and it's so painful, and it's so heavy, and it's just terrible. And for some people, it really is destroying them, and that's so hard to watch and to see people take on the guilt and the blame for someone else's choice. And so it's so, like I said, it's so complicated, right? And even for some of my clients who have a really clear understanding of depression and who also accept people's choices, and even some of my clients who were there as people were feeling really suicidal and felt like they were gonna do it and then they ended up doing it, even though they can understand that and they understand the level of the pain, that person's pain, and that it was their choice, they still feel bad, and they still go through the what could I have done, what could I have done differently, was I not enough for them to want to keep trying and stay here, all of that stuff. It's so painful and so awful, and I think there's so many degrees and variations in all of this stuff too. Like some people who are chronically suicidal and can't get out of that, that's terrible. And people who are chronically depressed and can't get out of that and can't see the light. There's also so many different mixes of complications, which a lot of you reached out to me with too, where you have all these different physical health ailments and mental health ailments, situational ailments, family stuff, trauma. I mean, it's awful, isn't it? It's so hard and it's so painful, and I don't ever want to minimize that. So I wanted to kind of just talk about this and open it up again, because I know this is such a awful thing, and I think we need to be talking about it in more of a real way. And allowing people to express what they feel and what they think and what they're going through in more of a real way. And that's also scary for me, because when people comment things, it puts me in a little bit of a vulnerable position, because I don't want someone to be suffering and not get help, or, you know, I don't, it's just kind of tough. And I think that's why people don't open up the questions a lot. But I think it's really important that we do open up these questions and space for these topics to happen. And I always have to, you know, give the caveat too of, if you're suicidal and have a plan, please get help, right? But people hate hearing that are actually suicidal. But I will include the different hotlines and message lines and chat lines for the US and other countries in the comments. So you can check those out, please, if you need them. A lot of those people on those chat lines are so helpful, and they really can be helpful. So try it, keep trying it, see if you can get some help, because sometimes the real help, or someone who really is helpful and caring, is just around the corner. So even if it sucks, I know sometimes it sucks to reach out and do that, try it. But yeah, so what are your questions? What do you want talked more about? What do you struggle with? What is helpful? That's what I want to know, really. Like, what would help you? What helps you when you're struggling with suicidal thoughts? What has helped? What's pulled you out of it in the past? What thoughts are helpful? What thoughts aren't helpful? What can people say that actually does help, and what hurts? Like, tell me that kind of stuff. I want to hear more of that kind of stuff, so we can get more of the right information out there, okay? Because I think the information that's out there sometimes isn't as helpful as the real conversation. So, and coming from the real people who are actually struggling. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. So let me know, email me, comment, reach out to me. Let me know, so we can put your voice out there more, because your voice matters, and your voice is valid, and your voice can help other people, right? And your questions. So yeah, that's it for now, guys, but I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope you get through today. Just focus on getting through today. That's all we can do sometimes, right?